Last night we watched The Iron Claw, pro wrestling family. Boy, what a garbage movie. Zac Efron did a great job. He was super ripped for this role. You brought this up when we were leaving. Like, man, Zac Efron worked out so hard for a movie that was fine. That guy took years off his life pumping hormones, whatever The Rock takes. He did so much drugs to enlarge his heart and be so jacked for a movie that was okay.
Trekking heavier, traveling light. There's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.
That's how you know I'm ready. I stick my arms up like we're going down a roller coaster. What is up, everybody? Welcome to This Weekend Zoltan. This is episode 362 coming at you. More caffeinated this time. I looked at the footage from the last episode, and it looked like I was sleeping in a box, and I was dropped out up front. And then you opened me out of a box and didn't give me... I look like a mattress that you didn't give enough time to inflate. You know, like those ones you unleash them and then they breathe to life. I was one that showed up late and you're like, it's nighttime. We got to sleep in it now. So like half of it was deflated. That's what I look like in the last
Prime
episode.
Delivery 2 days past the day. And you're like, oh, Prime, I get it.
Don't give this enough time to pump up. But welcome to the show. Before we get cooking, our one and only sponsor, The Safe Journal. I'm pointing right at it. Take a look at it. This is a beautiful journal. It's got a felt cover. It's got this nice piece. That part comes out after you purchase it. That's just to let you know the selling aspects of the Safe Journal. If you are new to journaling or if you're a seasoned journaler, this is the journal for you. Let me tell you what, if you're putting pen to paper, you need to be putting pen to paper in a Safe Journal, safejournal.co. 25% off if you throw in Zoltan in the checkout. And not only that, you get a handwritten note from me, which I've been getting better at, and I've been learning so many different spellings and names. And just so you know, I try to make each one different. So I try to add in a little how do you do. Like in one of them, I was like, I hope you enjoy documenting the last year of civilization in your Safe Journal.
What's up? I hope your mom is better. Wait, what?
Safe Journal, safejournal.co. And then this week we got my lovely wife back. Say hello, Emma.
Howdy.
Howdy. And then we got Mike on the ones and twos.
Howdy.
Yeah, we're pretending we didn't just record an episode 2 days ago. You know, not to break. You know, in case you guys were wondering, like, why aren't they talking about the Epstein list? It hasn't come out yet. It was supposed to come out on Monday or Tuesday.
You're talking about right now in real time?
In real time.
Oh, she's out.
The Epstein list is out?
Yeah, isn't it? I saw it. I thought I did.
Look that up because we were like waiting with bated breath, waiting for this to be released.
I think it's out.
It's out?
It's just like a really lengthy document.
Well, according to CBS, 53 minutes ago.
Really?
Oh.
Wow.
Well, this is great because this
on.
episode's going up 2 weeks from now. So you're going to get our in-moment reactions to the Epstein list. Who do you think's on there that most people don't think is on there?
Oh, I don't know. I heard Jimmy Kimmel's on there.
No, that was from Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers, a football player who didn't get vaccinated and was like on the anti-vax. You know how like it got split with vaxxers and anti-vaxxers? He got split over there, and I think Kimmel made fun of him a lot. And then so Aaron Rodgers was on a podcast and was like, I bet Jimmy Kimmel's on that list, like half joking. And then Jimmy Kimmel was like, hey, I work for Disney. You can't just pretend I might be a pedophile on Pedo Island. So that I think that's where that beef, but maybe his name's on there.
Who knows?
Jimmy Kimmel's got those eyes that I don't trust. Do you have the list?
I have some names that are on the list. I'm not looking at the actual list, but this is the BBC from a few
I trust
hours
the
ago.
BBC. What are they?
Couple ones that are Michael Jackson appears apparently a
Jackson?
lot on the list. Yeah.
Wait, not on the list or on the list?
A lot of he's on several times.
Oh, okay.
David Copperfield,
Magician. Yeah.
one
All
of the great
magicians
magicians
are
of all
creeps.
time. Yeah.
Yep.
Jean-Luc Brunel, who was a French modeling agent, died in a Paris jail in 2022 while awaiting R-word charges. So, wonder what he was up to. New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, before he also died last year.
killing himself in a jail?
Doesn't say anything. My favorite part of the list is that they're like, just because their names are on the list doesn't mean they did anything wrong. I don't know, man. We could really focus in on the list though. We can really narrow in. Like we can stop thinking about other people, right? So stupid.
That's true. So those are the names on that.
That's what
list?
BBC is saying.
Because that is a thought that I had. It's what I told Emma. I'm like, how many people went to this island and didn't didn't go for that reason?
They just went there for the crepes.
They went there for the crepes and the golfing. And because have you ever walked into a room where people are doing cocaine, and then but you don't do cocaine? Because this has happened to me before. No.
You lost me on that second part.
Oh, we're calling him nostrils from now on. Mike Nostrils Albanese.
I've done it a few times. Come on. What are we, children?
I've never done it.
Really?
It's because I took Adderall once when I was a kid. With 21, I was in Vegas or earlier, and I did Adderall, and I had a great time. I couldn't stop talking, even though I had nothing to say. Mm-hmm. And then the next morning, I woke up with horrible heart palpitations, like my heart was racing for like 4 hours. Yeah. And I told my buddy Dane, who's done cocaine, that's like his favorite thing. And he's like, oh yeah, that happens sometimes with blow. And I'm like, I'm never doing that. Scared the hell out of me. Yeah. So I never did it.
A little bit will do you. You don't want to get involved, but 4 o'clock in the morning, you're in the back of an Irish pub that's been closed for 3 hours. Smoking cigarettes in the bathroom. You do a little bit here and there. Never hurt anybody.
Never hurt anybody.
Well, that's actually don't take that as medical advice.
That's how I feel like. Every time I've talked to someone that loves cocaine, they go, never touch it. And then the people that are like you, that are here and there, you guys treat it like eggnog, it's seasonal or something. You guys are like, what's wrong with it? I'm not drinking it every day.
I've never done it, but I've tried it. So a few times. Yeah. Because it's always been like, I guess I will. Like, I've never gone looking for it.
All right. Okay, so you don't have a number. You don't have a phone number to call. No, that's a big difference. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you have a number in there and you're like, well, that's the next level where you have a contact.
I've always waited till like see the other people do it, and I'm wait. That's like my fentanyl test. Is to go, did they? You guys are good? All right, I'm good. I'll jump in there. I'll get in there.
You never want to be first.
No.
I think that's a great life lesson just in general. In the movie 300, you never want to be the first of those Spartans that got killed in the mountain. You want to be in the back of the part where they all ended up dying too, but they weren't first.
No.
Yeah.
Like Squid Games too.
Yeah.
The people that went first usually ended up getting eliminated.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good strategy. You want to be fifth almost in every line. Never be up in the front. But anyway, I guess the point of that was, like, when I've walked into green rooms where a bunch of people are doing cocaine, there's usually a bunch of people just looking at me, and they're like, huh? And they're trying to read my face as to whether I'm into this or not into this, and then they just see me slowly back out like a cat, and they're like, oh, I guess he wasn't into that. Has anyone gone to that island, invited by old Jeffy Epp, and showed up and saw what was going on? And you're like, I'm just going to go hang out at the bar.
Where's the casino?
Yeah, when's the next flight out of Epstein Island? What's the schedule?
So we also have Bill Clinton. I think it's somewhere over 50 times.
50 times, that's a lot.
And apparently on the list, there was a lot of unnamed females. It would be like Jeffrey, Ghislaine, Bill Clinton, and then like two female. It would just say two females.
Oh.
And then the trip back would be the same people, one female. So it's like,
they buried a body?
Who knows what they did?
Oh my God. Also, why does the males' names have to be written down in a travel log, but not the women's?
I don't know. These are all great questions.
Because if I was famous and going to this island,
put me as one male.
Yeah, can you just put me as one female? I don't care if you misgender me, please. Misidentify me. Put down. But can you spell Clinton with a K? That would be really helpful at a time like this. But yeah, this is probably the most important list to come out since Craigslist, or I don't know, or Schindler's List. I don't know. How many famous lists has there? Remember the? I feel like you wouldn't know it, but maybe Mike remembers this. This is from the 90s. Remember Heidi Fleiss?
Yeah.
So in the 90s, there was a very famous, I don't know if she was actually a prostitute or she just ran a house of them, but she ran a high-end escort service, and she had a list of very famous clients that she would send prostitutes to, sex workers, whatever the common term is now. And she published a book, right? And she listed like every
God.
famous actors. This was like, I mean, these weren't underage women as far as we know, so it's not like as bad as Epstein Island.
Sure.
But it was outing people that were frequenting the prosies, if you will.
Do you want to guess the top 3 most important lists in history? Not including this
Is Craig
current
on
one.
there?
Craig is not on there. Number 1 is a real doozy, though.
Schindler's?
Number 3.
Schindler. All right. Do you have a guess on this?
Number 2 is I've never heard of. It's Benjamin Franklin's list of 13 virtues.
Ah.
Number 1's a big one.
Santa?
Santa's list, number 1! Wow! I thought that was going to take a while.
No, I mean that's the list that comes to my mind. It's Santa's list, then Schindler's gets pretty dark,
Yeah.
and then
Oh, wait,
Craig.
sorry. Craig is 5. I didn't
Craig
even
is
see it.
on. All right, see, Craig's got a list.
Craig's above the Hollywood blacklist, which is cool.
Let's be honest. There might be worse things going on Craigslist than Epstein's Island.
I think that's where they found people to go to Epstein's Island. They were using Craigslist to
Man.
recruit.
Is that how Craig intended it? Like, I think Craig was just trying to create a message board where you could move a couch and rent a room, and then slowly everyone always takes technology and then immediately tries to scuff it up. They always try to dirty it up.
Well, the guy's real name is Craig, and
he's
a
got a list.
billionaire.
He's a
Because of
billionaire.
it, 1.3 billion. Craig Newmark.
How do you make money off a free website? Ads, I guess.
I guess ads.
Yeah, you just sell advertising. It was like that one time you kept hitting the fart thing, and then an ad showed up, and I was like, man, someone's monetizing farts. Someone's monetized. I think I might have said it on that episode, but we were playing the fireplace thing on our TV,
Oh, yeah.
and every like 5 minutes a commercial would run over the fire. Like, just to make sure that capitalism has completely jumped the shark. They're like, this fire, we got to monetize these flames, you know? These are just 4K footage. You look like you're still looking at that list.
I'm trying to figure out how I can find how they make money.
Craigslist? It must
Yeah.
be ads. I'm sure there's ads. Like, you know those crude ads they put in, like, bad publications in the bottom?
I think you can also like boost your posts.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can boost them on Craigslist?
I think so.
$25 increase visibility. Job relate. If you're hiring, it's $25 to post a job. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't used Craigslist in like 10, 15 years when I sold a guitar or bought a guitar. Maybe I didn't even post it. Someone else posted it. But yeah, it's this Epstein list, one of the most, it's most important modern day list, you know, as opposed to the 10 comedians to look out for variety.
It's always the least important list when I am not on it,
Yes. What a horrible list.
which is every list.
Yeah, I've never been on any list of comedians to watch, and but if I ever get on there, I'll be like, this is the best list they've ever come
Yeah,
out with.
smartest list.
It's smart.
Finally, they got one right.
Yeah, finally. And then you start vouching for the other comedians on the list who you don't even know. And you're like, oh, they must be amazing because they're next to me.
I work with them all the time.
Finally, they're showing the talent.
Great
you know?
stuff.
Yeah, Heidi Fleiss. Sex worker or prostitute? I think prostitute sounds better. Doesn't it sound more like that would be on a business card? Sex worker sounds like it comes with a hard hat and like a weightlifting vest. Doesn't it?
I mean, it should.
Sex worker sounds like when you come home from work, your spouse makes you change in the mudroom.
Again, you're making sense.
It's like iron worker, metal, local union 135, sex worker.
Shower first.
Yeah, I guess. But prostitute sounds, I don't know. It sounds more Who came up with the name? Is it the actual people that do the business, or the people that feel bad and feel the need to change the term every
Well,
few
I think
years?
prostitute is like not woke. Sex worker legitimizes it.
But it doesn't. Usually, when we change the term from one to the other term sounds more fancy. But this one, prostitute, to me sounds fancier. Like it's almost like esthetician. You know, and you're like, woo, esthetician's a fancy word for face cleaner. Yeah, right? Like face cleaner, that's not. You're like, oh, okay. But esthetician, you're like, whoa. You might-
Prostitute means in Latin offered for sale. Prostitute is the Latin, which that was a German accent.
That sounds fancier than everything we've said.
Prostitute.
like if someone came in and be like, your mother is a prostitute, I'd be like, well, she's doing pretty good.
Oh, she's a Dutch hooker. That's cool.
She's a Dutch.
Sounded Italian to me.
Was it? I felt like I was the chef from the Muppets. Prostitute.
But it sounds more professional.
Yeah, it does.
Like esthetician sounds too fancy for what it is.
Yeah.
Equestrian, just say you ride horses, man. You don't
Just
have to
say
get
cowboy.
Yeah, just say cowboy. Like equestrians when they wear those riding boots with the white pants and then they jump the horses over the little bars and stuff.
Robbie Slowick has the best joke on that, where he says, "Cowboys are the only profession that people that work with the animal that they use that term for, because it's like you don't call them pig boys." Look at them horse boys. Like, it just sounds like, what are you doing with those horses, man? What do they do with the pigs?
What are you doing with these cows? Yeah, we're interested in the list. It's not going to go. None of those names you said surprised me, other than the ones that I hadn't heard of, like the New Mexico governor and the La Flambe guy.
Yeah,
from France.
Those are all new developments. The Michael Jackson one's a little bit weird.
Is it?
Trump quite a bit.
Wait, do you think the Michael Jackson one's weird because those women were too old on that island?
Hilarious.
like those women were like 10 years older than what his demographic was.
I don't know.
For.
You know, it's.
But also, wasn't he into boys?
He's also into boys. We don't know what was on this island.
We don't know what was going on there. Yeah.
You know what's crazy about it is like the first guy to sound the horn on old Epstein's island was old whack job Alex Jones. Wasn't he?
He was talking about it for years.
Yeah, which Alex Jones is that. Remember that crazy bloated guy that I showed you videos of? He sounds like an outboard motor without gasoline in it. He just sounds like he just sound. He's insane. But he also said this, and he sounded insane, of course. But I guess it was true. I guess if you spout out nonsense, eventually you're gonna nail one. You know,
he said a lot of things that were true.
Right.
Unfortunately, the stuff he said that wasn't true outweighs the true stuff.
Yeah. If you want to be, you can't be discredited. You got to really police your work because the one time you're discredited, now everyone's like, we can't listen to you.
Got too cocky.
Yeah,
you know, he got a lot of stuff right, and he was like, well, I can say anything, and it's true.
Yeah. You know, the big one he got wrong was the Sandy Hook. I remember the big school shooting, and he said that all those families were crisis actors and the shooting was fake, set up by the government or something, and found out that wasn't true, and those were real victims. And then those families of these, deceased children were just heckled and verbally assaulted by all these people that listened to Alex Jones that said these were fake people. And you get that one wrong, it's hard to listen to the next one.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Also, your delivery's bad. Like, anytime someone's yelling and spewing, I'm always like, how much of this is true and how much of this is you're just upset?
But then he also promotes you can buy the Alex Jones store survival water.
Oh yeah,
it's like special water for survival. It's like, yeah, it's called water, dude. Like he just has get the vitamins that'll help you through the apocalypse. It's like, Alex,
the government puts fluoride in the water.
Yeah.
Is that for our teeth? Maybe, but also
he says they put stuff in the water to make you gay. He's one of those guys. Who's the putting chemicals in the water makes you gay?
You know, I have noticed the more hydrated I am, the more I catch men's eyes. Because they put stuff in the water to make you gay, and the more water I drink. Usually when I'm dehydrated, I feel more straight. Like the more I'm filled with coffee and beer, the more straight I feel. But the more hydrated I feel, I'm like, ooh, my skin is just so voluptuous. And then I just start catching men's eyes, and one thing leads to another, and there I am. Well, that got quiet.
I was just trying to think of what water I could start drinking.
I remember one time I sat next to a guy on a flight, Southwest flight, which I think really sets the table. But he was this guy from Georgia. He had a southern accent. He was one of these guys that wanted to talk to me, and he started talking to me before I could get my earbuds out. So now we're talking, and he seemed like a nice enough guy. And then somehow we started talking about water. He's like, oh yeah, because we were in San Diego, which California has crappy drinking water. You have to
Right.
like filter it. And I was like, yeah, our tap water's not that good. It tastes pretty bad, but it's supposed to be clean. And he's like, oh, yeah, I got a whole filtration system at my house in Georgia. And I'm like, oh, yeah, the Georgia tap water's not good? And he goes, no, the government's putting poison in there to keep us dumb and docile. And I was like, all right.
Cool.
Yeah, you're saying this before we took off? Like, it's too early. Could you imagine what that conversation would have been mid-flight?
Oh, my God.
He's like, I wish I had Wi-Fi, but it's Southwest. Otherwise, I'd show you my homepage, you know?
Also, don't put the Wi-Fi near your crotch.
I always love the whole, the people that are really into conspiracy theories and the survivalists, because it's never anyone that would be good at repopulating the earth. It's never, it's like, I'm going to make sure I survive. It's like, for our species, make sure you're first dead. for just,
Do us all a favor.
Do us all a favor and murder, suicide, everyone you're related to. Because if the apocalypse happens, because if that's not our best and brightest.
No.
That's not how that's Planet of the Apes stuff out there. That's not good. But yeah, that was it. I got deep in there. We last night we went to the movies. We talked about this
Right.
before we started. We watched the Iron Claw, pro wrestling family. This is a movie I was excited about because it's pro wrestling related, about the Von Erich family. It's a very depressing story about how they all died. A family that's cursed. And boy, what a garbage movie. That movie sucked so bad. Right?
It wasn't that bad.
She didn't think it was that bad. It was cheesy.
Yeah.
For Zac Efron did a great job. He was super ripped for this role. You brought this up when we were leaving. Like, man, Zac Efron worked out so hard for a movie that was fine. like that guy took years off his life pumping hormones, whatever The Rock takes. He did so much drugs to enlarge his heart and be so jacked for a movie that was okay. It was okay.
Yeah, but that's fine. I think I would do it.
I mean,
Just
just
my dream is to get paid to get in
ripped.
shape.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have no motivation at all. Oh, die young? Not enough. Put me in a movie.
I guess I would need that motivation too. But he worked out so hard for this role, and Zac Efron did a good job. He was the only good. It's like they spent the entire budget on Zac Efron's steroids and to pay him to be the best actor in this movie, and then they cut the budget on every other actor in the movie and the script. Like, it's cheesy. It's almost like if the creators of Seventh Heaven told the Von Erich story.
That's so funny.
Have you watched
That is
the movie?
exactly what it was like.
No, well, it's Iron
Claw?
No, but I have Seventh Heaven.
Yes, it's cheesy.
Seen a lot of those clips, and I remember as a kid watching it. Being,
It's just like Jessica Biel has an injured knee, but she's going to go play varsity basketball anyway. And then now you got one of the Von Erichs loses a foot, but he like ties a boot on anyway and still tries to wrestle. But it's done with this cheddar to it. It's this cheese of like, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm not smart enough in film to understand how they could have made it not be like that. But there was a nitty-gritty family filled with a mean dad, steroids, suicide, drug abuse, and they just kind of gloss over it. Like, well, like there's one guy just like tooting some cocaine, like, and then they all acted like the camera was me walking into the room, and they all went, whoa, we didn't mean to show that. And I'm like, just if you're gonna show the nitty-gritty of a family, show the nitty-gritty, because that makes us feel more when that person dies. And instead, it was kind of like a made-for-TV movie. It was like if the Hallmark Channel decided to tell the Von Erich story. It's kind of cheesy.
it gets good ratings.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's one of those movies. We watched 2 movies this week that were highly rated, and we're like, this is crap. I mean, like, it was fine, but it wasn't as good. The other one was Oppenheimer. We watched Oppenheimer this week, and I'm so glad we didn't watch that in theaters.
It's going to be a no from me, dog.
It was, I haven't
seen Oppenheimer, but I'd have to assume Barbie was really keeping that one alive, because I saw Barbie on a plane and it was pretty okay.
It was fun.
It was fine.
I'll tell you, Barbie was way more fun than Oppenheimer.
I think also because it was like, oh, they're being risque.
Yes.
And they're kind of degrading the Barbie brand, and it's produced by Mattel. I'm like, I respect that.
They're taking the piss out of themselves.
Yeah.
As the Brits would say. But yeah, Oppenheimer, it was just like, I get it. You just show the explosion already. Like, I don't care. And also, who's that actor that played Oppenheimer?
Oh, shoot. What's that guy's name?
Because whoever he was in the movie, he came off looking like a famished lesbian. Like,
He looks like that normally. Cillian Murphy.
Yeah. Is he all right?
I mean, I think he's just got one of those actor heads.
He's
that,
gotta.
you see people, and if you see him in the wild, you're like, whoa. Do you need change? But in movies, it's like, this guy's famous. It's like, you ever seen Entourage?
Yes.
There's a turtle. Bigger the head, bigger the star.
That's true.
But I think that applies to like weirder the head, bigger the star.
But if you have a big head, you got to have the meat in your face to even it out. Because if you got a big head and you look famished, you look sick and dying. Like, he has a big... This actor has a... I also don't want to make fun of him. This guy's a real person. But, like...
Yeah, he's a celebrity, screw him. He was Scarecrow from Dark Knight. Or Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, I never watched that one.
The one where he like...
He looks like a
sprays people.
scarecrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It made me wonder if Oppenheimer... Because, like, he played him so creepy in the movie. Because in Oppenheimer... Anytime he would think about whatever science stuff he had to think about to create the atomic bomb, he would just do this. He'd just be like, and then in his head, it would just show a bunch of swirling things. I'm like, oh, he's thinking science stuff. That's what he's thinking.
Maybe
He
It
used
was
to
very hard
look. He used
to
to look
watch.
fairly normal.
Oh, that's a normal person.
Yeah, that's from Scarecrow. That's when he plays
Oh.
Scarecrow.
You
So
know
I
what
think.
he looks like? He looks like he has lip filler.
Oh, yeah,
Does he?
maybe. Thinking about getting some of that.
He has luscious lip.
Yeah.
Mike's thinking of getting lip filler.
Thinking about getting some
Really?
filler and some reduction first. Reduction in some places. I need a new chin. That's what I'm going. I need.
Oh, you got a weak chin?
That's why I have a beard.
I got a weak
I don't have it because it's cool. I hate the fact that beards are cool. I want just a better chin.
I want to get chin filler too.
You want a chin? No, your chin's great.
You got a great chin.
Why not?
You
know?
no. For what? You
To
want to look like...
elongate my face.
No. Man. Don't mess with your face. You have a beautiful face.
Maybe just a little.
Because here's what's going to happen. What if they do it wrong? You know all those times they do it wrong?
Yeah.
Not just chin filler, but anything. And then someone comes in looking like Jay Leno, and they're like, how's my chin filler? And you're like, no.
That's why you start small.
Yeah.
Do a little bit.
Then you end up looking like this guy. Not you, but the guy, the actor.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, don't mess with your... That's why I like Tulsa. That's what I said on the last episode. No one fixed their face because everyone was super nice. That's why that guy had a horn, and that other guy had the birthmark under his lip, and they never fixed any of that. But yeah, Oppenheimer, kind of a drag. That's what I thought. The main gist of that I got out of the movie was they picked these smart people like Oppenheimer, and then Einstein actually had some moral integrity. He was like, I'm not going to create this death weapon. But he
Yeah.
did kind of help. And then at the end, they're like, listen, this is going to like be horrible for humanity because we're just going to try to make bigger bombs and bigger bombs. We're all just going to kill each other. And of course, the president and all the other government people were like, no, we don't care about that. And so it's like we use smart people until they're no longer useful to us. And then we just keep electing these salesmen, which isn't anything new. People think we've been electing snake oil salesmen just the last 10 years. No, we've been doing that the entire time. Like, smart people come by and the problem is smart people don't have a personality. So they come in staring at like Oppenheimer did, like, and you're like, I don't trust that.
Well, I think also smart people are smart enough to not run for the presidency.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be the most craziest job. Like, because you're not going to be appreciated.
No, I think smart people should be sentenced to presidency. I think there shouldn't be an election. I think everyone should have to take an IQ test, and if you scored the highest, you're sentenced to 4 years of being
Serve
the
your
president.
country,
yeah, and then everyone that came in. I don't know how many congressmen and senators there are, but if you came in like top 100, let's say, you're like, congrats, you're the senator for Vermont. Like, and you're like, damn it.
Seriously, that's how it should be. Everyone should be up for election, and then we just whittle it down. No money, no ads.
Why don't we have an educational draft where everyone's drafted for their education and intelligence? Not
Should be
just
like military service.
Yes.
Yeah, you
You
have
have
to be the senator because you are you scored highest on the test.
Dude,
like
if
that.
you don't do it, this guy who sells real estate or whatever, or this other one with the crackhead son.
Yeah, if you don't do it, Lauren Boebert's going to be the new senator.
The lunatic's going to do it.
Please do it.
Ooh, let's start that. I don't know if this is...
How does this
straighten
start?
up.
Yeah.
We need to start an educational draft. We need to draft the smartest people with the highest IQs, and they need to be sentenced to government office. They need to be president, they need to be governors, they need to be congressmen, they need to be judges. The smartest people in the country need to be sentenced to public office. Make that happen. That's the only way to fix this country. Because we're people. People like to be sold a bill of goods. That's why there's car salesmen. Because human beings can't just look at a Tesla and go, this would be a good vehicle. Thank you. We need this. We need smart people to be sentenced to public office. Why? Because citizens are dumb. Who would we elect? We go watch. They've made 7 or 9 Fast and the Furious movies because we're idiots. Because we're complete dolts. We can't be in charge of this. Smart people need to be handcuffed to their desks and their faces locked into their computer screens so that we can fix this great nation of ours. And I think it starts tomorrow. Start the educational draft. This has been a message paid for by Black Coffee and
snorting Adderall.
and snorting Adderall.
The preceding message is about to pay for content is endorsed. Any candidate brought to you by SafeJournals.com.
Book it. I think that needs to be a real thing.
I'm sweating.
I am too. I felt a little dribble go down my sides as soon as the. I'm so dumb. I almost called that music you played the Hulk Hogan music.
Well, I had to type in president song. I didn't know it was called Hail to the Chief.
Yeah.
Until I saw it, I was like, obviously it's called Hail to the Chief.
You play that Hulk Hogan music. Anyway, we always elect our. We just I don't know. We celebrate thieves. We watched that documentary last night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Bitconned. It just came out on Netflix, and we watched it. And it's about a guy who he says in the interview, he's like, as soon as I was a kid, I wanted to be a criminal.
Do you want
very
to
proud
pitch
of
the
that.
show? Pitch the show here.
Bitconned.
Yeah.
Bitconned. I'll tell you what America likes. We like thieves. We like criminals. We like people that take a look at the law and go, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to take money from people that are gullible. I'm going to take money from people that worked for it, and I'm going to put it in my pocket. And you know what's going to happen? I'm going to go in front of a judge, and they're going to let me go. And you know what's going to happen after they let me go? They're going to make a movie about me, and they're going to make me look like Ric Flair.
I don't want you to get dinged for copyright. We'll cut it off early.
Thank you. Yeah, I only played 10 seconds of that. Otherwise, Jimmy Hart will come after me. I think he was the guy that made that song. But yeah, this guy stole, I don't know how many millions of dollars from these people that were investing in Bitcoin, which is also half the reason I don't feel that bad for them, because it's people that were trying to make money out of nothing.
Yeah.
So anytime people, like even the Wolf of Wall Street guy, which I think is that guy's a dirtbag, he was stealing from working class people.
Yeah,
he was still taking money from people that are trying to get money from nothing. Which
You may make money quick, yeah.
I don't care if you call it the stock market. I don't care if you call it venture capitalism. You're gambling.
Yeah.
You're going to the casino going, I'm putting this money on this to hope that I get this dividend back. And I get that a lot of people have made money doing it.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people
I just don't like that he went to get for the gullible. The people that weren't gambling
Yes.
had no business in the casino. And they're like, he's like, no, the casino. And they're like, well, you sound smart. Like he went after he said it, the mailmen, the garbage men, people with a little bit of extra cash.
Stealing from the poor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all horrible people. But the point is, this guy, Bitconned, this Raymond, some Italian last name, he said, he's like, my entire life I wanted to be a criminal. And then he became a criminal. He stole all these millions of dollars. And then he ends up ratting out all his friends. And he was up for spending like 200 years in prison, kind of like that Sam Bankman-Fried guy that ended up getting sentenced to something outrageous like that. He ended up getting no time. he got time served, which meant he was in.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Should have said that first.
People need to know because we watched this before we went to bed, and I remember telling you halfway through this movie, I'm like, this dude doesn't end up in prison, which it didn't seem like it because he gets fitted for a suit the entire time.
Yeah.
He's like he's at the Saks Fifth Avenue, and they're measuring his crotch space to figure out how to hem his pants. And
Wow, based on your attitude, you don't need a lot of room here, pal. Due to the way you talk, I feel like we would need more room here, buddy.
it's just he ended up not getting in trouble, and it made me so angry.
The best part was that he had loyalty tattooed on his back.
Oh yeah, he had loyalty tattooed on his ribs, and the reason he's gotten away with these crimes is because he just ratted on his friends to the FBI. Like he had another scam when he was a teenager, where I forget what the scam was, but him and his other buddies, like. They were selling oxys because they stole a prescription pad from a doctor, and they were just writing prescriptions to themselves and selling the oxy on the streets. They got busted, and he ratted out the two friends that he did the business with. They went to prison or juvie or whatever, and he got off scot-free because he just ratted everybody out. And then he did it again just now for more money. With this thing, and this guy's alive and free, and his two buddies that did it, one's in prison for 8 years, still not long enough, and the other one did a year just because he was like a dumb guy that kind of got mixed up in this.
Yeah, I mean he'll get in trouble. He'll get in worse trouble, I think, than any of them will eventually.
Hopefully, I mean that's why we have the saying. Poor people that have been screwed over had to come up with the saying called, well, life will get even with them eventually. We have to say that. Otherwise, we're going to commit murder.
Yeah, the rich people don't say, well, life will get even with me eventually. No, they've never said that.
Yeah, the guy that ran the Oxycontin company, I'm sure he wasn't like, listen, we're really living high on the hog now.
Also, I didn't know it was that easy to get out. Just steal a pad. There's no computers involved. The pharmacist is just like, well, this is good enough for me. For a controlled substance?
Yeah.
I thought there was a computer,
I'm sure there is
fingerprint.
now. Yeah, now there is. Well, now you have to show ID to get Sudafed with the real stuff they make meth out of.
Yeah, sure.
So hopefully now it's not that easy. But also, it wasn't even a good scam. I think that's the part that also really bothered me, because I used to think that if you were running a scam there, you had to find a smart angle. Kind of like Office Space, where they're like, we're going to round off the remainder penny and drop it into this bank account, and no one's going to notice because it's fractions of a cent, and over 50 years we'll make like $1 million or millions of dollars, whatever. But this wasn't even a smart thing. They just created a website that said, we've come up with a credit card so that you can use your Bitcoin in real life. And which is a great idea.
Great idea.
But they didn't have the infrastructure for it. They didn't know how to work it. So they just photoshopped a Visa logo on the card on their website. And they got a bunch of people to buy in. They created like a fake CEO. They just took a photo off the internet. And they're like, yeah, this guy. And they created fake LinkedIn profiles. This guy used to be the CEO of Wells Fargo. They just created this website that no one did any background work on to see if any of this was real.
Like, how come none of these facts are linked? Yeah. Where's the article?
There's no article.
Yeah.
And
it's just dumb luck.
It's just Photoshop.
Yeah.
Like, which also, from the consumer standpoint, to give people money like that is ridiculous. Like, I that's why I'm so shady with any kind of anything. Like I don't know. The new thing now is what's that bank account where you throw in like 50 grand and they'll give you 5% interest for the year?
I think it's called a bank account.
No, but
high yield savings.
Yeah, but it's 5%. It's like high, and you don't have to keep it in there long. What was it called?
I can't remember.
A few people have told us about it, and it's very popular. Murphy's Drake account. I don't know what it's called. It's none of those. What I just said. But every time there's that thing might be real and might be low risk. But every time there's a situation where they're like, there's ways to make money without doing anything, I'm like, this has to end bad for somebody.
It's like, what's happening in the background that we can't see?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know who makes money? You know how earlier in the episode we were talking about you never want to be first? In these scams, you want to be first.
You have to be.
You have to be. You want to be like the first 10 people to get into Bitcoin, or you want to be the first 10 people to get into whatever Wolf of Wall Street guy did. You don't want to be the last guy to get in. Because that last guy's never going to see his money again. Only the top 1% will actually, because a bunch of people made money off cryptocurrency. It's just the percentage of people that did versus the percentage of people going, oh my God, what have I done? Is so much, it's not even.
You know, I didn't feel bad for at all is NFTs.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that anybody thought they would make money off a fake piece of art because you just keep trading it to other people. Like, how many pyramid scheme documentaries need to be made before people can notice the next one without the documentary?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Digital art. I think the concept of the NFT is still brilliant, but I think we're going to get screwed out of that. Like attaching an NFT to a real thing.
Sure.
Then it's like, oh, it's traceable back to the original whatever, and then they can make the artist always makes money on it every time it gets sold. I think that's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
But the idea of like, oh, look at this monkey JPEG. Like,
the idea that something is valuable is only valuable if someone else wants to buy it.
Willing to pay for it, yeah.
But if there's a million NFTs, who else is going to buy this crap? It's crap.
As my dad always used to say, I'd be like, how much is that worth? He goes, however much someone's willing to pay for it. Like,
exactly.
0 or a million, who cares?
Yeah.
Find an idiot and sell it to him.
It's kind of like those ultra rich people that buy like a $60 million house and then they want to sell it. It's like, well, only 1% of the population could even beat it. That's if they want this house.
Yeah.
Now your selling market is like this big. You might be holding on to this $60 million house for a while. You might be stuck in this giant mansion.
Yeah, really.
I don't know. But also, I have poor people's mentality. So if anyone is listening to this or watching this going, you idiot, all these things are real, I'm sure they are.
And also email in all your get-rich-quick schemes that you can get involved with.
Please leave them in the comments section.
Next episode, you're going to be pitching... LuLaRoe.
What's that?
It's an MLM for
what is
stretch
that?
pants.
What is that?
Oh, multi-level marketing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like how they've mixed multi-level marketing with religious sex cults. That's been fun.
Well,
Remember
that's all religion is just multi-level marketing. If you tell 5 people and they tell 5 people, we have a church.
That's true.
Yeah.
No.
Should we start a church?
Should we?
I think we should.
I've thought about it.
I think this is our Bible. Let me. I just need to fill it in with some stuff. On the 5th
No,
day.
it's blank, man. It's for you to write in your own beliefs. That's the church.
Ooh.
The Church of Jesus Christ of, what do you got to say?
Be your own leader.
Yeah, be your own God.
I was watching, speaking of, I was watching Twin Flames.
Yes, we watched Twin
Oh.
Flames.
Yes.
God,
That guy was an idiot, and he had people.
It was,
Just wanted
love.
to grab.
People that want to be in love are the most vulnerable out there.
Yeah.
Lonely people are the most vulnerable.
How do you think they adopt so many? Like, why do you think there's so many charities where you can adopt animals? It's because there's lonely people giving to these charities. And this guy took advantage of lonely people just because he found one woman that he could verbally abuse into being his wife.
Seriously.
And then he was like, see, I found a twin flame. Every time she would talk in that documentary, he'd go, cut her down. Remember that? Just like cut her off and never let her speak.
Well, that one poor girl that's like being forced to like be in a relationship with that criminal.
That criminal in
That she didn't
Utah.
even
Oh,
like.
yeah, that one
She's like,
was
no, this isn't the
horrible.
guy. And he's like, it is. And you better tell everyone that you guys are in love. Like, it's just, what a weird place to be in. And then they give you money to like, they pay you so that you feel, just the whole thing.
I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast before. I'm sure I have. But I am naturally avoidant of groups.
Yeah, you
for
have to
many
be.
reasons, but I think that's why it will always keep me safe from ever joining a cult.
Many reasons. 1, cult aversion.
Yeah.
2, you don't wear deodorant. 3, what was the other one?
3, it's never your turn to talk. That's the main reason I don't like groups.
I don't get enough stage time.
Dude, I don't. That's what it is. I like groups, but I like to be in the front. I'm either the cult leader or nothing. I'm either leading the cult and I'm telling you when to cut your schnutz off, or I'm not in the room.
Every time I watch a cult documentary, I have to stop myself from writing down cult ideas. Because it's like, oh, shit, sorry. No, that's not. This is the wrong side to be on.
That's why even when I do hot yoga, like sometimes I'll go with you to hot yoga, I never say namaste at the end because I feel like that'll keep me safe from joining whatever that is.
What do you say?
No, I don't say anything. I just look
What do
down.
they say namaste to you?
Oh, I don't. I give them a little. Because I feel like if once you start saying namaste, now you're one step closer to paying $3,000 to become a yoga teacher, to like do the training. Like you're one step closer to falling into the cult, and now you're wearing sandals in the winter, and you're just like one step closer to being that. Now you're like, no, I can recharge crystals. Like it's a slippery slope. It starts with saying namaste, then you take the course. Now you're in the woods with a hippie boyfriend, and you're thinking you're charging these crystals, and you just got a vacant look in your eyes, and your family's worried. Like I don't know why people don't see this.
And then when you wake up, realize you go, oh, charging 4 crystals. Damn it.
Yeah.
I pay so much money for these things.
It's all the same. It's kind of like buying a kettlebell. You get a kettlebell, and then you start taking the supplements. Next thing you know, you got an American flag tattoo with a skull on it on your arm, and you're storming the Capitol. It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope.
It is.
Yeah. I stay away from groups.
My friend's mom was very religious. She used to call yoga stretching for the devil. And I think about it all the time.
Stretching for the devil.
It's every time I do yoga, I'm like, stretching for the devil.
That's hilarious.
I think yoga's, and I'm not knocking yoga. I think yoga's great for your flexibility and all that stuff. But dude, I don't know. I don't like the groups. I don't like the speeches. They always give you a speech. I like the yoga teachers that just do the stretching. Get into the flow, you know? Every once in a while, they always got to leave it with a speech at the end, like, let's be thankful I was in Mexico and the children didn't have feet. And we should always remember we have feet. And let's touch our feet together and namaste. And I'm like, I'm not into that. This is a slippery slope.
As we make our way to the beginning of the week, all right.
Yeah, I just don't like...
You're stealing time from me right now.
I think it all started with church when I was young, because there was always a trick involved.
Yeah.
Like I remember my buddy, I had a friend Phil, and he's like, "Hey, you want to go play basketball at the church I go to? They have like a youth center. We can go play basketball." And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And then they got me in with basketball, and we're right in the middle of this game. And I guess the youth minister comes in and goes, "All right, let's talk about the Bible." And then he made us stop playing basketball and look at these overhead projections of what we thought. And I'm like, this was a trick.
Yeah.
This was a trick. It's almost like when I was in football, and one time the quarterback came in, and he's like, "Hey, there's free pizza outside if you guys want to come for free pizza." I was like, yeah. And then I went out there, and I'm like, why isn't the entire team here? It's a bunch of 16-year-olds. Why are they turning down free pizza? And I get 2 bites into my first slice. He's like, "Well, welcome to Christian Fellowship Athletes of California." And I'm like, damn it, you got me with the pizza. Tell me it's Jesus with the pizza, and I'll make sure not to go, or I'll get my slice to go. You know, like I'm not. I don't want to. Why is this a timeshare meeting? You know,
I went to a Fellowship of Christian Athletes retreat once, just because that's what everybody did, and I didn't realize the Christian part was like the main part. Yeah. And they tried to save me. That was like the big thing, was they wanted beef their numbers up, and I told them no. I was just trying to be polite about it. I was like, I don't really know enough about it.
Right.
I don't know enough, knowing like, no way in hell I came here for the chicks. Like I thought, because this is where all the girls went. So I went, and then I was like, maybe I could talk about it when I get home and figure it out. And they were like, okay. And then when I walked back to the group, they were like, big news, Mike got saved. Like they counted that as me being saved. And I just went along with it. I was like, well, the journey starts here. Like I was trying to come up with all these.
You went along with it.
I was stuck in the woods in a cabin. Like, what was I going to do? Just walk around like trying to stay away from everybody. No, I had to pretend like I was like, yeah, Jesus Christ Almighty, Chick-fil-A, I love it.
Chick-fil-A.
Like, what do you want me to do? I went there because I wanted to meet chicks. That's where all the hot girls went.
And I think there's great ways to listen. Just stay away from groups of people, or at least be weary. All right, at least have your peripherals on and to see where this group is going. Because clearly there's many groups that don't end up as a scam or a cult. Plenty.
Everything you should always ask one question no matter what and be like, wait, what's going on?
Why?
Or what do you mean by that?
Yes.
That should be the first question with everything. Doesn't matter what.
Yes.
Or would you like rice or salad? What do you mean by that?
Exactly.
Well, you get a choice. I have a choice. There we go.
I kind of don't trust that girl that runs the backgammon group in New York City. Because what's her angle? You know? Pretty soon, we're all going to be over there getting matching board game tattoos or something, and then she's going to try to sleep with everybody. We already know that that's where it's headed.
You're going to get polygamy tattooed on your ribs.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to call her God after the 5th session. I'm not doing that.
You started pointing at her. You're like,
No, 'cause
I don't
we-
even know if I trust, and you pointed at her. I was like, whoa,
That's where I thought you
what
was
is about to
going
happen here? I don't even know if I trust you. Living in my house, eating my food.
You know what I've realized? That's a real issue with me where sometimes I take too long to get to my point and I'll point at something or I'll stretch something out and then you'll be like, oh, that's what you meant. I thought you zigged when you should have. That happened on the podcast once where you're like, yeah, I can't stand people who read. And then you're like, what? On the subway. And then I added that gap. And you thought I was against like literacy for a second.
I love good pauses, though. Used to do a bit about it a long time ago, but I was like, you got to make sure your pauses are right because you can't say stuff like, man, me and your sister are really fucking friends these days. It's like, whoa, buddy.
Well, I think that's the show for this week. Did we have anything else on the list? Was there?
I didn't have a list. So.
Oh, I had a list that I think that's pretty much it. It's Oppenheimer, Bitcoin. We never elect the intelligent. I think that's we need to sentence the smarts. We need to sentence the brains to public office. I think that's the key to fixing America. And other than that, don't forget Safe Journal, safejournal.co, 25% off, not .com, .co, 25% off. Zoltan at checkout. I write you a handwritten note. Get into journaling. Write down your feelings so you don't join a group because you're lonely and end up joining a cult and giving away your life savings, never talking to your mother again.
Namaste.
That's the best way to end.
Do you want to do some quick to lead us out?
Let's do a group Om.
Well, yeah, let's do that at the end because I like that. I want to watch your face do it for real. But what if you do like 2 or 3, you can respond to namastes right into the camera. So you say namaste and then you respond as if you're
Trying to not say
to give us 3 options of you responding to namaste.
Okay, go ahead.
Namaste.
All right. Second one.
Namaste.
See you next time.
Namaste.
If you say so.
Cuckoo. All right, do you want to count us
All
for
right.
the Om?
In 1, 2, 3.
Om. Are we doing more?
I think is that enough? I already don't like them. I have a weird pain in my taint just from doing that once. It was like a weird, uncomfortable. I didn't like that. See, now we're a cult. That's all it takes is 3. Mike's going to run off with the money. You and I got to escape the country. That's how it goes. Anyway, I think that's the episode. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good day.
Trekking heavier, traveling light. There's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.